Good morning. Today is Sanhedrin Kaf Dalet 24. We left off on the Mishnah, at the Mishnah on 25, Kaf Hey. We left off on Kaf Dalet 24 on the Mishnah on Kaf Dalet Bet. This Mishnah is going to tell us some people who are puzzle both for Edut, for bearing witness, and for Dayanut, for being judges. Rashi says, so the first words, Ve'elu hena psuin. Rashi says, Ladon ulaha'id, kulhu mefarish begamara, Bekulan, says Rashi. This is under Dibur Hamatil Hamasachek Bekubiya, but just by way of introduction, he explains that Kulan Me'ain Gazalinan, and they're all sort of like thieves. V'hatorah Amra Al Tashet Rasha aid. You should not allow a rasha, a wicked person, to be a witness. V'kol sheken dayan, and Rashi learns all the more so. He learns a sort of kal v'chomer that you should not let a rasha, a wicked person, be a dayan, a judge. Okay. So ve'elu hena psuin. You can see it sort of. It really should be a continuation of the previous mishnah. Ve'elu hen, right? And these are, because we talked about in the previous mishnah, we talked about if you want to use someone who's technically a puzzle witness, you can. And now the mishnah is going to say, by the way, these are the people who are puzzle. Okay.Amisachek bekubiot behamal beribit mafriche yonim. So someone who plays this gambling game, plays dice, at least in modern Hebrew, kubiot or dice. Here it's probably something else. The Gemara will explain. Behamal beribit is someone who takes a loan. No, someone who loans on interest.
Gambling.
What's
like
that?
Gambling. Dice.
Like gambling. Yeah, it's a gambling game. Someone who takes a loan on interest. Someone who loans on interest.
It's interesting because the loan is also over and allowed.
So that'll come up in the Gemara. Yep. Umafricha and people who fly doves or pigeons, that'll also be explained in the Gemara. Besokre shvid, and people who trade in shvi produce. You're not. One of the stipulations of the Shemitah year is that you're not allowed to make money on the on produce that's grown that year. Amar Rabbi Shimon, B'tchila hayu karinoto osvei shvid, misha rabu ha'anasin, chazru likortan sokre shvid. They used to call them osvei shvid. They used to call them people who gathered in shvid produce, and then once there became a lot of tax collectors, they went back and they started calling them people who trade in shvi produce. That'll be explained in the Gemara what all of that means. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, I don't think today. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, ematai, when is it the case that all these people are puzzle? Bizman she'en lehen omanut elohu, aval yesh lehen omanut shelohu ksherim. So all of these people are all, it says Rabbi Yehuda, and the Gemara is going to discuss whether Rabbi Yehuda is disagreeing with the stam of the Mishnah, with the beginning of the Mishnah, or if he is clarifying what the Mishnah means. They're only puzzle when they don't have any other work, when they don't have any other source of income. If they have another source of income, then they're kosher. Okay.
They're suggesting that it's referring specifically to the dice players, the gamblers, rather than the other categories.
That, I suppose, makes sense because someone who's malve beribit could make all his money that way.
When I say they, I mean art school. They don't have a.
Don't agree with that because of what the Gemara is going to talk about, but far be it from me. They have very well researched and Talmudei Chachamim writing. So, okay. The Gemara asked, what did the person who plays this dice game, this gambling game, do? What's the problem with gambling? Amar Rabbi Bar Chama mishum dahava asmachta v'asmachta lokanya. Because it's an asmachta, we saw in Bava Basra about an asmachta. I think also in the other two Bavas also probably, about an asmachta, that someone who assumes that someone makes a stipulation about something. The classic example is one person owes another person a loan. He pays part of the loan back and says, give the loan document to a third person. If I don't pay back the loan by such and such a date, I'll pay back the whole thing again. That is an asmachta. The person who owes the money assumes that he's going to be able to pay back the whole loan before the stipulated date, before the assigned date. Therefore, it doesn't. What he said doesn't actually count because the Gemara paskins that asmachta lo kanya, that someone who assumes something does not actually affect reality. So it doesn't actually count. And so in the gambling game, the two people gambling assume that they're going to, according to Rami Bar Chama, they both assume they're going to win. And therefore, when they place their bets, they're not actually relinquishing their ownership of the money. Therefore, when the other person wins it, it's sort of like stealing because he's taking money that was not actually the other person didn't fully decide to give it up. Rav Sheshet Amar Kol Ki Hai Gavna Lav Asmachta. This is not a case of Asmachta. Rashi explains Kol Ki Hai Gavna Lav Asmachtahi. And then he explains Hechidam Asmachta Kagon Mashlish Et Shtaro to get Pashut. Somach al lo davar, etc. He explains the case I just said. De lo havile lasmachta kam matne de toe besaver lo yavo lideka. Aval hacha, in this case, says Rashi, the last 4 lines of Rashi here on this page. Aval hacha, in this case, lo samich amidi daha lo yada I netzach ilo. He doesn't actually know whether or not he's going to win. The filu hachi atne shemamina misfeka. Because he doesn't actually know whether or not he's going to win, and it doesn't necessarily depend on his own actions. It's not really an asmachta. So according to Rav Sheshet, this is not a case of an asmachta, and he is going to relinquish control of his money. And so Rav Sheshet explains it's not because of asmachta l'kanya, it's rather because they're not participating in actual productive activity. My benaihu, what's the difference between these two opinions? Ika benaihu de gamara mato achariti. So the difference is that if the person has learned another trade and makes money another way, then Rav Sheshet would say a misachek b'kubiot can in fact bear witness and can be a dayan, whereas Rami Bar Chama would still say it doesn't matter if he has another source of income because he's still Kain Gazlan.
Well,
he's still sort of like a thief.
Someone's, like a Batlan, which also should be puzzle because he's not all sick, we should depending on how you define that.
Right.
What's a baba?
About someone who just doesn't do anything. Someone who sits around and doesn't do anything.
But would it be unemployed?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
is it a temporary? Is the batlan a temporary, or is that?
No, we have like these concept of asara batlanim. Then you can say they're not.
Right. I also think atzukin b'yeshuvo shel olam is not just doing nothing. I think it's like a negative. There's something negative about it to me. That not only are they not doing something for the sake of the world, they are doing something negative while they're not doing anything for the world.
Right, but then you should have said that, which you did.
Yes, that is true. I'm reading into it. Okay. V'tanan dit the Masorah Shas corrects us to or changes us to ditnan as we learned in the Mishnah. Aber Yehuda ematai bisman she'en lehenu manut elohu abal yesh lehenu manut shelohu ksherin. So this is a big kasha on Rabbi Bar Chama because in the Mishnah we said that Rabbi Yehuda says that these only apply if he doesn't have another trade, but if he has another trade, then he's not puzzled. Alma ta'ama damini mishin yeshuva shalom. Therefore, we should. It implies the Mishnah implies that he is not. The reason they're puzzled is because they're not involved in productive activity. Kasha l'Rami Bar Chama. This is a kasha on Rabbi Bar Chama who said it's because of asmach l'kanya. V'chi tema pligi de Rabbanan ale de Rabbi Yehuda of Hamar Rabbi Shua ben Levi kol makom sham Rabbi Yehuda imatai uvema eno elo lefarish yiver chachamim. Rabbi Yochanan Amar imatai lefarish lichlok. So you might have thought that Rav Sheshet. Rami Bar Chama thought that Rabbi Yehuda was cholek on the Tana of the Mishnah, but we learn from these two Amaraic statements that everybody agrees. When Rabbi Yehuda says ematai or bema, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, I'll translate directly. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says that every place that Rabbi Yehuda says ematai or ubema, he's coming to define. To further clarify the words of the Chachamim and not to disagree with them. Rabbi Yochanan says that when Rabbi Yehuda says ematai, it's to explain, and when he says ubema, it's to disagree. But in any case, the Kulei Alma, everybody agrees ematai is to explain. And in our case, Rabbi Yehuda said ematai. Therefore, Rami Bar Chama's opinion that this is about asmach lokanya is difficult. Everybody agrees. Okay, Gavra Agava Karami. Oh, maybe Rami Bar Chama just disagrees with Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi and Rabbi Yochanan and thinks that Ematai it does come to disagree when Rabbi Yehuda says it. Marsavar Plige. So Rami Bar Chama says that Rabbi Yehuda disagrees on the Tanakama. Marsavar Lo Plige, and then Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi say that he does not disagree. Below Plige, but is it really possible that Rabbi Yehuda doesn't disagree on the Mishnah? So this is going to be an apparent support of Rami Bar Chama's opinion and against the other two who say Lefarish. He's explaining the Tanakama's opinion. V'hatanya bein sheyesh lo umanut shalohu bein she'ein lo umanut shalohu. V'hatanya, we have in a Braita bein sheyesh lo umanut shalohu bein she'ein lo umanut elahu harei zeh pasel. So we have a Braita that says whether or not he has another business dealing, then he's pasel, which would sound like the Tanakama of our Mishnah holds that whether or not the person that has another business, has another source of income, he's pasel. The Gemara is going to say, no, this is not the same opinion as the Tanakama. Hahi Rabbi Yehuda mishum Rabbi Tarfon. That Braita is Rabbi Yehuda speaking in the name of Rabbi Tarfon. The Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer, as we learn in this following Mishnah, as we learn in this Braita, Rabbi Yehuda Omer mishum Rabbi Tarfon. Olam ein echad mehem nazir lefi shelo natna gezero nazirut ela lahafla. Okay, so this Braita says that neither of these two people are Nazirim because a Nazir only says you can only become a Nazir when you make a hafla, when you're hafla neder, when you make an explicit neder, an explicit oath. So Rashi explains what is going on here. Ein echad mehem Nazir, says Rashi. Shnayim yoshvin ve'echad over ze ve'echad over. So there two people are sitting and a third person walks by. Ze omer ploni ha'over nazirhu ze omer eno nazir. They disagree about whether or not the person walking by is a nazir. V'amar echad hareini nazir im kamotohu shehu nazir. I am hereby a nazir if that third person is a nazir. V'chavera omer hareini nazir im kamotohu she'eno nazir. And the other person says, I will become a nazir if that person is not a nazir. Ushnehem mitkavnin linazirut v'nimtza ke'echad mehem. So they find out whether or not this guy is a nazir, and it turns out that one of them obviously was right. Ve'amar Rabbi Tarfon ein echad mehem nazir. Rabbi Tarfon says that neither of them are nazirim. She'ala safek amar devarav techila ve'ein ze hafla deki yafli ish yifaresh mashma yifaresh mashma. So because the pasuk says ki yafli ish, you have to say it explicitly, and Rabbi Tarfon says that. In this case, they did not say it explicitly, therefore neither of them are Nazirim. Alma, this is where it ties back to our sugya. This stands to reason. Alma, l'Rebbe Tarfon, the key tali tana'a b'midi, the love biyade. When someone hangs a stipulation on something that is not in his hands to decide or to define the outcome, v'lo yadala, and he doesn't know what's going to happen. Afilu hachi habya asmachta. It's still an asmachta. In this case, v'lo amrinan misfega gamar ve'akni. And we don't say that due to the suffix of what's going to happen, he concludes in his mind to let the other person acquire his money. Therefore, this Braita is really a third opinion that's not in the Mishnah. And it supports the person. It supports Rami Bar Chama, who said mishum dahaba asmachta, because the reason a misachek b'kubiyot is possible is because it is an asmachta according to Rabbi Yehuda, according to Rabbi Tarfon, and that is why he is possible. Good. Moving on. Is that clear to everyone? Got a little complicated there, but okay. The rest of this stuff is pretty straightforward. Malve beribit, someone who takes a loan on interest is pasul from edu. Amar Rava, love beribit pasul. Someone who gives a loan on ribit is pasul edu. Va'ana tanam malve beribit.
Love is the one who borrows.
Sorry, the person who loans on interest in the Mishnah is pasul le'edut, and for dayanut. Amar Rava, love beribit pasul. Someone who takes a loan on interest is pasul. The Mishnah said, the person who gives a loan on interest is pasul. Malve haba'a beribit. So we should learn the milve. Sorry, right, a loan that comes with interest. Anyone who's involved in a loan that comes with interest is possible.
So therefore, we have milve beribit in our Mishnah. Probably instead of malve, if you want to read it, when I say it that way. The milve.
You can go back. Right, you can go back and read the Mishnah as not malve beribit, but milve beribit. Anyone who's involved in a interest loan. There's a machloket rishonim as to whether or not Rava is talking about that. Right, if you refer back to the Mishnah in Bava Kama, I believe, that says that everybody who's involved, right, the guarantor and the witnesses, they're all over alav. So there's a machloket rishonim as to whether or not Rava thinks that everyone involved is pasal edut or just the debtor and the creditor. There's something in the Gemara later that makes me think he's talking about all of them. I don't really remember where that thought came into my mind, but hopefully we'll get there and then I'll say it. Okay, so now we have just a little maisa about someone who was malve beribit. Bar bin Yatus asihidu be tresahade. So two witnesses came and testified about this man named Bar bin Yatus. Chad amar kame didi ozif beribita. In front of me, Bar bin Yatus loaned with interest. He gave me a loan with interest.
So isn't that person disqualified?
Pasle Rava. Yeah, Pasle Rava levar bin Yatus. Rava says that Bar bin Yatus is pasal. Rava hu da amar lo beribit is pasal. But Rava said that someone who takes a loan with interest is pasal. Leidut. V'hava le Rasha. V'hatorah amra al tashet Rasha aid. That person is a Rasha because he took a loan with interest. And the Torah says, don't let a Rasha be a witness. So that's your kasha. Like he should be pasal le'edut. Therefore, his testimony about Bar bin Yatus should not be kosher, and Bar bin Yatus should not be pasal from edut.
We had this before.
Right, latame, exactly. Latame, we have this in
Last Masechet.
Right in Bava Basra. Rava latame, da'ama Rava adam karov etel atzmo, ve'en adam mesim atzmo Rasha. So a person is considered a karov to himself. Therefore, he cannot make himself a Rasha. Therefore, the second person's testimony about Bar bin Yatus is kosher because it's just about a loan that he gave with interest, but it's not kosher for himself. When he says, I took the loan, he doesn't actually become a pasal witness because he can't make himself into a Rasha. He can't say testimony about himself, basically.
But is this a testimony about the other?
It's still kosher.
It's kosher.
Right. Because he's not testifying about himself in that case. He's just testifying about Bar bin Yatus. We just pay attention to that part of the testimony. In addition, there's only one person. Even if it was kosher, there's only one person who says, right, you would need two witnesses to say that he took a loan on interest. But maybe not. I don't know. Okay. Another maaseh. Hahu tavcha de ishtakach de nafka trefata mitute yade. So there's a certain shochet, a certain ritual slaughterer, and it turned out that he was selling trefot. He was selling non-kosher animals, animals that had some kind of injury before they were slaughtered, but he sold them anyway as kosher animals. Pasle Rav Nachman pasled him le'edut ve'avre, and he removed him from his position as shochet. Azal Rabbi Maze Vitofre, he let his hair and fingernails grow as signs of contrition, that he was sorry about what he did. Sava Rav Nachman la'achshure. Rav Nachman thought to make him a kosher witness again, and possibly return to his position as shochet.
So why was Rabbi doing this? Rav Nachman was one of the possible.
Rabbi, he allowed them to grow.
Oh.
Like get bigger, Rav. Amarle Rava, Dilma Iarume Ka Mairim. Maybe he's just using subterfuge to make you think that he's sorry, and he's not actually sorry because he knows what it looks like to be sorry. Ela Mai Takante. So then if growing his fingernails and hair doesn't work, how can he actually do tshuva? Kid Rav Idi Bar Avin. He can do it like Rabbi Idi Bar Avin said, Amar Rabbi Idi Bar Avin, Hachashud al Trefot, Ein Lo Takana, Ad Yelech Lamakom She'ein Makirin Oto. So he doesn't have tshuva until he goes to a place where nobody recognizes him, because then he can't just use subterfuge. because it wouldn't really matter there. And he returns. He finds an item, and then he expensive item, a valuable item, and returns it to its owner. Because obviously this person who is selling trefot is not very scrupulous with money. Therefore, presumably, if he were still doing the same behavior, if he found something valuable, he would just keep it. So if he finds something valuable and returns it, then it's proof that he has done tshuva. Or if he finds a trefa in his animals and he comes forward and says, I found this trefa, it's an expensive cow, nobody can eat it and I can't sell it. He, again, does an act that's going to be of monetary loss to him, and it shows that he is now more scrupulous with his money. Sorry, something happened. Okay. Okay. Piska from the Mishnah. Mishnah says, "Umafri cheyonim." So people who fly pigeons. My mafri cheyonim. What are these people who fly pigeons? Hacha targuma. Here in Bavel, they define it as "Itakdeme yonech liyon." If you're, how does the article? How does the art scroll? What are you, nikudot? How does it punctuate that word?
Which word?
Lamed yud vav nun. Right after umafri cheyonim, my mafri cheyonim. What are mafri cheyonim? Hacha targuma. In Babel, they say itakdeme yonech liyon. Yon.
Lamed yud vav nun.
Right. What's the?
Lamed shava under it.
Liyon. Okay, that's right. So if your pigeon, it's basically pigeon racing. If your pigeon gets to such and such a place before mine, then you win, and otherwise I win, and they're presumably putting money on it. Rabbi Chama bar Oshaya Amar. Rabbi Chama bar Oshaya, who's from Eretz Yisrael, says Ara, someone who participates in Ara, which Rashi says.
What did we just say about this Lamed Yud Vav Nun?
Yon. It means yo. I don't know why it's not Yoni, because it should be Yonecha Yoni, but it's just Yon.
He attracts other pigeons to his cove.
Right. I was just trying to find the Rashi inside. Ara.
Like intervenes with their life, or
What, Ara?
no?
Or Leon? It's like if your pigeon gets to that place before mine, it's Yoni, but it's just Yon. I don't know why the word is like that, but that's just the word the Gemara uses. Right. If you look at Rashi, Itaktame Yonecha Leon, Leoni eten lachakak b'chach. If your pigeon gets there before my pigeon, maybe Yon is such and such a place.
Is it a male and female?
I think it might be. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it might be if your Yonecha taktame Yonech Leon. If your pigeon gets to Yon, maybe it's that place, and then Rashi's adding before my pigeon, I'll give you such and such amount of money. I don't know. Does the if your pigeon arrives before? No, they say my pigeon. If your pigeon arrives before pigeon, and Rashi says he's talking about his own pigeon.
Okay.
So
Let's see what's the...
it's a little weird language. Okay, and Ara says Rashi is melomed lahavi yonim mimekoman lebeit baalim al korchan v'yesh behen gezel. So an Ara is someone who trains his pigeon to attract other pigeons to his house, and it's not stealing deoraita because someone can't actually own pigeons. You just like have a dovecote and pigeons who are there. But the Chachamim said that it is gezel because of tikkun olam, I think, or maybe darkei shalom. For the sake of peace, it is stealing, but it's only d'Rabbanan, and therefore the Mishnah had to say it, because otherwise, if it was really stealing, then the Mishnah wouldn't have to say it, because anybody who steals is pasul leidus. Okay. Shai Amar. Okay. Man de Amar I taktame yonech liyon. Ma ta'ama lo amar ara. The person who said that that Mafricha Yonim is pigeon racing, how come we didn't say it's an Ara, a person who trains his pigeon to steal other pigeons? Amar lach Ara b'derkei sholom be'alma. He would say to you that the prohibition against stealing other pigeons is only mipnei darkei shalom, and therefore is not bad enough to be puzzle someone from edus. Umanda amar Ara, my ta'ama lo amar itak demeyonech lion. And the person who said that this is Ara, how come he didn't say that it is pigeon racing? Amar lach hainu misachech bekubia, because that's the same as gambling. It's the same as the misachech bekubia, so the Mishnah wouldn't have to say it twice. But the person who says that it is pigeon racing, how come the Mishnah had to say misachech bekubia and mafricha yonim? Tana tole bedat atzmo, but Tana tole bedat yono. You had to teach both because one of them is dependent on the pigeon, and the other one is dependent on his own ability to be misacheh bekubia, his own ability to play this gambling game. Utricha, and you need to teach both. The Tana tole bedat atzmo. If we only learned about the one where he depends on his own mind to play the game, the misacheh bekubia. Hatamhu de lo gamaru makne. That is the place where he did not conclude in his mind to give his money to another person. De amar kimli benafshai diadanatfe, that I know how to play this game better than the other guy, therefore I'm not going to lose. So he doesn't actually fully give over his money to the other person from the beginning. Aval tolabadat yono emalo. But if he's dependent on his pigeon, then he is less sure about his ability to win. Therefore, he would be more likely to give up his ownership of his money that he's going to lose. The itana tolabadat yono. And if we only learn about Tola Bedad Yono, that he has to depend on his pigeon, De Amar Benaksha Talia Milta, that I am going to bang these things together to frighten the pigeon to fly faster. Ve'ana Yadana Linikushe Tfe, and I'm very good at banging things together, better than my opponent. Aval Tola Bedad Atzmo Ema Lo. But if he's dependent on his own mind, maybe he doesn't think he's that much better at playing Misachik Bekubia, or he just knows that it's a game of chance. Then maybe he does not fully buy in. He's not fully give up his money, and therefore, if he were to win, he would be stealing from the other person. Sricha, you need both. Okay. Meitzveh. We have a Breita from the Tosefta that what? What's this a Meitzveh against? I don't remember. Well, we'll see. Okay. Meitzveh. Hamisachim bekubia elu hen hamisachim befisfasim v'lo befisfasim bilvad amru ela afilu klipe egozim v'klipe rimonim. So what is a misachet bekubia? It is people who play with these fisfasim, which are like pieces of wood, says Rashi. Rimonim, klipe rimonim, pomegranate shells. And klipe agozim, nut shells. So there are different kinds of gambling games that involve different things. And how do they do tshuva? How do they repent? Mishi yishberu et fisfasehen veyichzeru behen chazara gemura de afilu bechinam lo abde. They break whatever tools they were using to play this game, and they don't even. And a full tshuva is when they don't even play the game for free, when they don't even gamble on it and they would just play for fun. They don't even do that. Okay. Malve beribit, someone who takes a loan, someone who gives a loan on interest. Echad hamalve ve'echad halove, both of them.
Is it the milve again? So it's like.
Probably milve beribit, right? Milve beribit, malve. I guess you wouldn't, if it was milve beribit, you wouldn't have to find it as echad hamalve ve'echad halove.
Okay. You could say a loan that has interest, whether it is the lender or the borrower.
I like that reading better. Milve beribit, a loan that has interest. Right. Milve, I'm comfortable with it. Milve beribit, colon, echad hamalve ve'echad halove, a loan that has interest, colon. Same thing for the malve, same thing for the love, for both the creditor and the debtor. They're both puzzle. The ematai chazartan, how do they do tshuva? Mishi yikru etchtarehen, they have to tear up their loan documents. V'chazru chazar gemura, and they do full tshuva. Afilu nokri lo mosfe, even to a non-Jew, they do not give a loan on interest. Notice that it turned into Aramaic there for a second. I don't think that is a Tanaitic word. I think that is an Amoraic word. So I think that, and Rashi supports this for the next section of the Braita, that these Chazara Gemura is added by the stam of the Gemara and is not actually part of the Braita.
What is this word? The Mosfe also was earlier.
Yeah, Mosfe is to give a loan.
Really?
Yeah, it's the Aramaic of Love, which is why I think that this is not actually part of the Braita.
So in each of these cases, they
It's
have
not
to go.
like-
Sorry, I think maybe it's Rabbi.
To me, it's related to Hebrew lezayef, like to forge.
Ozif, right before we had Ozif biribita, to give a loan with interest.
To like
It's to give a loan.
Not good loan. No.
Well, Ozif biribita is a not good loan. So Ozif is just a loan.
Ozif is just, okay.
Yeah. So in this case, even to although I think here the implication is a loan with interest. I don't think it would bar them from giving a loan at all.
Yeah, that's what they suggest here.
Um,
So in both of these cases, the person has to go beyond the Torah prohibition in order to show their true repentance. Because they're
Exactly.
allowed to play with dice without money, and they're allowed to loan to an idolater on
with
interest.
right,
So
exactly,
here they have to go beyond what
exactly,
they're not allowed.
exactly.
To show
But
they have-
again, I think that the part of what they have to, I think the parts where it says they have to go beyond, I think are later additions to the Braita. I don't think they're actually the original part of the Braita. And Rashi supports that. Especially with this word Mosfe. That's just not a Hebrew word. So you wouldn't see it in a Tanaitic source. Okay. Umafriche yonim, and these people who fly pigeons, elu she mamrin et hayonim. They embitter their pigeons. Rashi says, I think they fight them, yeah.
Right.
And they would gamble. You would presumably gamble on these fights, which would below yonim bilvad amru ela afilu behema chayav oath, and even people who fight behema, other animals as well, other birds, chickens, cows, behema, domesticated animals, and wild animals. The ematai chazartan, and how do they do tshuva? Mishi yishbaru et pigmehem, v'chazru behen chazara gemura de'afilu mimar nami lo avde. So once they break their pigmehen, I think are the things that they would use to make the animals angry, and they would fight to make them fight with one another. And so they would break those, and then how do they do full tshuva? They wouldn't in the midbar. Even in the midbar they wouldn't fight. So I think we have time to go on this. Just this quick side note that I was saying before. On Rashi afilu bamidbar says deloshichiche yonim the yishuv v'hai perushe lilishna de'ara nakit. So even in the midbar, they don't do this. The problem Rashi has is that if you're fighting animals, it shouldn't matter where you're doing it. Whether it's in the city or whether it's in the midbar, it shouldn't matter where you're fighting them. So Rashi suggests that this is an addition to justify the person who said that it's ara and not pigeon racing or pigeon fighting. Does that make sense? That if you're racing pigeons or fighting pigeons, it shouldn't matter where you're doing it, whether it's in the midbar or whether it's in a city, because you're gambling, and that's the problem. If you are training animals to steal other animals and bring them back to where you live, then it's a problem, whether you're in the city or whether you're in the midbar, because in the midbar, there aren't other people's animals for you to steal. So the reason you would not be allowed to do in the midbar to do full tshuva is because of this thing of going past just the letter of the law to do an extra thing in order to show that you're fully repentant. And then Rashi says, "V'lo magufa de braita." This isn't actually part of the braita, and it's only added to defend the person who said that it is ara. It's training your pigeon to steal other pigeons. V'lelishne de'i tiktema yonech liyavan ika lefrushe chazara gemura v'hei afilu bechinam nami lo abdu kedefrishit gabe kubia. And you would say that for the person who raced or fought the pigeons to do it, is someone who raced or fought the pigeons is how you become pasul le'edut. Rashi says that person to do full tshuva would have to would not even do it for free. Just like a misachek bekubia, you wouldn't even play for free. You would do it not even gambling. So too with the fighting or racing of animals, you would do it not even with gambling, or you would not be allowed to do it even if you were not gambling. Okay. So people who make money on Shemitah produce, these are people who trade in Shemitah produce. How do they do tshuva? When another Shvit year comes around, they simply do not do this bad behavior of trading in Shvit produce.
That's going to take 7 years for them.
Exactly, it takes a long time. Right. Rabbi Nechemia lo chazarat devarim bilvad amru ela chazrat mamon. So it's not just in what they say and do that they can do tshuva. They also have to do tshuva of the money that they made. Ketzad, how do they do that? Omer ani ploni ba ploni kinasti 200 zuz beperot shvit. I collected 200 zuz using trading in Shemitah produce. V'harei netunim b'matana la'aniyim. They're hereby given to poor people. The money that I made on Shemitah produce is hereby given to poor people because technically the Shemitah produce is there for poor people to eat. Therefore, to do tshuva with that money, you have to give the money to aniyim. Katani meha. In any case, it was taught in the Braita behema. It was taught in the Braita behema, right? Someone who is mimarer behema chaya ba'of. Bishlama lamanda amar I takte meyonech leyon hainu dimishkachat la behema. So it makes sense for the person who said that mafriche yonim are people who race pigeons, because you also find people who race behemot. Elo lamanda mar'ara, but if it's for the person who said that they train their pigeon to go steal other pigeons, behema bat hachihi. Can you really train a behema to do this behavior of going to attract other behemoth back to your farm? Gemara says, yes you can. Bishor habar ukamad amar shor habar min behemahu. That the Gemara claims that a wild or a behema, a wild animal from the desert, is able. You would be able to train this animal to do that. And it's according to the person who says that a shor habar is a kind of domesticated animal. Even though it's technically a wild animal, it's similar enough to a domesticated animal that it is also considered a domesticated animal, a behema. Titanan shor habar min behemahu Rabbi Yossi Omer min chaya. So that's a machloket. The Tanakama of that Braita, of that Mishnah from Chulin says that a shor habar, a wild ox, is in fact considered a domesticated animal, so to speak. And Rabbi Yossi says, no, it's a wild animal. Okay. Moving forward. Tana. We learn in a Braita. Hosifu alehen. They added upon the people who we said in the Mishnah are pasul le'edut. They added the following. Hagazlanin, thieves, v'achamsanin, and chamsan is someone who takes something that the owner does not want it taken, even if he pays for it. So I would if I were to take your Yeshivat Maharat water bottle and leave you, it's probably very valuable, $55 for that Yeshivat Maharat water bottle, I would be a chamsan, because I would be paying for it, but you still don't want it. Is that yours?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So you don't want me to take it, but I would pay you for it, but I would still be taking it. Right. They're beautiful. So that's a chamsan. Gazlan deoraitahu. But wait a second, you don't need to add a gazlan to someone who is pasul le'edut, because a gazlan did an isur deoraita. You need to tell me that that's pasalei. Lo nitzarcha elo lemitziat cheresh shote v'katan. No, that's talking about someone who finds something that belongs to a cheres, a blind person, a crazy person, or a child.
Fool.
A fool, thank you. Because none of those three are technically able to do a kinyan, do an active acquisition on, or not even do an active. They can't actually own something that they find. So technically, from the Torah, you could just take it from them and it's not theft. But again, mipnei darchei shalom, the Chachamim said they made a takana, they made a decree that derabanan it is forbidden to steal their found objects. Mikara savar matzia cheres shotet v'katan lo shechicha. At first, they thought that because it's not very common that these three kinds of people would find something, they didn't actually have to say that someone who steals from them, steals a found object from them, is pasal edut. But at the end of the day, they decided that yes, they would say that inami, or alternatively, mipnei darchei shalom ba'alma. Stealing those things from them is mipnei darchei shalom ba'alma, and therefore it was not part of the original definition of who is pasal edut. We don't have time. Okay. Kevan, there is an interesting thing there about, because earlier, never mind. We don't have time for it. Okay. Kevan dechazu de sof sof mamonahu de kashakle paslinu rabbanan. So at the end of the day, I said chamsan wrong. A chamsan is someone who. No, I'm sorry, I said it right. At the end of the day, they are unscrupulous with money because they are stealing something from someone. So therefore, they should be pasal edut. Okay. Achamsanim, someone who takes something and pays for it, even though the original owner didn't want to give it up. Mikara savar demei kayahiv. He paid for it, so what's the big deal? Akrai ba'almahu. It's not nice, and it's just like it's not a nice act, but it's still not being unscrupulous with money because he paid for it. Kevan dechazu dekachatve, because they saw. What is chatve? It happened more often.
In modern Hebrew, at least kidnap or like.
So I think they saw people grabbing things. They're like, well, if it's not really a problem, so I'm just going to grab things against people's will and pay for them. Gazru buhu rabbanan. They added that to the categories. Okay. Tana, we learn in a further brayta. Od hosifu alehen. There are more people added to this list. Haroim, shepherds. Hagabayin, people who collect one kind of tax. The hamochsin, people who collect another kind of tax. Roim, why were shepherds originally not part of the takana and later on were? Mikara savur akrai ba'almahu. Here it means masha behema. Oh, right. So the problem with is a ro'eh is that they would allow their animals to go into someone else's field to graze. So Mi'ikara savur akrai ba'almahu. At first they thought it was just like it's something that happened, but they weren't doing it intentionally. Kevan dechazu mikavnu v'shadu l'chatchila gazur behen rabbanan. Once they saw that the roim were shadu, shadu means to throw things. Rashi doesn't define it, but Rabbeinu Hananel on Kav, it's all the way over on Kav Vav Amud Aleph. He says that notel misadot acherim umashlich lifnei behemato. They would throw things in front of their animals in order to lead the animal to someone else's field to steal which technically would be stealing, to graze in their field would be stealing from them. Okay, ha-gabayin veha-mochsin, that's again from the Braita, the two kinds of tax collectors. Mikara savur my de kitzlahu kashakli. So they're appointed by the ruler to collect taxes. Originally, they thought the tax collectors would only be taking that which the ruler said to take. The ruler would say take 5% of people's incomes, and that's what they would go and take. But then the tax collectors started to take more than what was told to them to take. Therefore, they became puzzle because they were basically stealing. Amar Rabba, Roe she'amru, echad roe behema daka, ve'echad roe behema gasa. Rabba said that the roe that is puzzle, it doesn't make a difference whether it is a large animal, a large domesticated animal, or a small domesticated animal. Either way, the shepherd is puzzle edut. Did he really say this? Someone who is a shepherd of small animals in Eretz Yisrael is puzzle leidus. Outside of Eretz Yisrael, someone who shepherds a small animal is kosher leidus. Roe behema gasa, someone who shepherds a large animal, afilu be'eretz Yisrael ksherin. Hahu, and then the teretz is Hahu. The second statement of Rava is b'migdalim itmar, someone who raises these animals in their house or in a city, because someone who raises an animal in a house or in a city is going to be less likely to leave that animal to someone else's field. So the Eretz, I'm not sure why the difference between Eretz Yisrael. Rashi says Eretz Yisrael chamire tvei. It's a bigger deal in Eretz Yisrael, mishu Eretz Yisrael, because you want people to be able to settle comfortably in Eretz Yisrael, and if you have people, so you're going to be more strict on people from stealing other people's grazing pastures.
Is it because it's a mitzvah to be Meyashev Eretz Yisrael?
I think so.
So you have to be more machmir in how you,
whatever,
how you treat
animals, right?
And
how you treat
your people that you can count on or something.
Right, how you treat your neighbors, I think is
or your neighbors. Okay.
Right. Well, if you're stricter on the people, then they're going to be more makpid on like where they graze, and then how you treat your neighbors, and people are going to be more comfortable.
But it's because of Eretz Yisrael.
Right. Hakinami mistabra. This also makes sense. Okay. Hakinami mistabra migatakatane ne'amanim alai shlosha roi bakar. This makes sense what Rava said, because we had in the previous Mishnah, these 3 roi bakar are trusted to me. These 3 cow herders are trusted to me to be dayanim. My love, these 3 shepherds are trusted to me. My love la'edut. Is this not talking about they're trusted to me to bear witness? Lo, ladina. No, it's about dayanim. In other words, the previous Mishnah said these 3 roi bakar are trusted to me. If they weren't technically pasal le'edut, then you wouldn't have to say that they're trusted, because then they'd be kosher. So because the Mishnah says they're trusted to me, it implies that technically they're pasal le'edut or lo ladina, to be dayanim. Dikanami dikatane shlosha, and you can tell that it's talking about dayanim because it's shlosha roi bakar, 3 cow herders, v'i la'edut shlosha lama li. And if it's talking about bearing witness, why would I need 3 of them? The elamai ladina, my area shlosha roi bakar, kol beit klata delo gemire dina nami. Below ladina, dikanami dikatani shlosha roi bakar. So this is not a proof for Rava, because it's talking about dayanim and not witnesses. The ila edu shlosha lamali. And if we're talking about witnesses, why would I need to have 3? But if that is the case, the ela my ladina, my area shlosha roi bakar. Why would it specify 3 roi bakar? Kol beit lata delo gemire dina nami hachi nami. Anybody, any 3 people who aren't experts in the laws of money would also technically be puzzled to be dayanim. Hachika amar. This is what the Mishnah meant. Afilu hane delo shechiche beyishuv. Even these 3 who are probably the most unlearned of people, because they're not around settlement. They don't deal a lot with money. Even they can be permitted if both people agree that they can be dayanim. A couple more lines. Rabbi Yehuda stam roeh pasul. A stam roeh, just any random shepherd is pasul. Stam gabai kosher. A random tax collector is kosher. Random. So and you have to prove that a gabai is unscrupulous before he becomes pasul le'edut. Okay, we'll stop there for today, and Rabbi Linzer will be back tomorrow.
Can you define two terms for me when you finish that?